Hello, my name is Jessica and welcome back to Kara. Today we have another 15-minute yoga practice, and the focus of today's practice will be to ground. So we'll come through a variety of different poses that will really find that sensation of grounding down through either the hands, the forehead, the tailbone, the feet, and we'll just run that theme through our practice for the next 15 minutes or so. When you're ready, we're going to start in child's pose. So, coming onto all fours, knees are down, hands are down. Then walk your knees nice and wide. Bring your big toes to touch as you sit the hips or the bum back onto the heels. Reach the hands out in front and then let your forehead touch the mat. Find a nice position on the forehead so that the back of your neck is nice and long. Close down the eyes. Just begin to feel all parts of the body here that are touching the floor. From the fingertips through to the forearms, the elbows. Feeling your knees down on the mat. Maybe your chesting is sinking lower and lower towards the floor. And finally, a lovely focus point of attention is to feel your forehead, the space between your eyebrows, really grounded onto the mat. And finally, a really lovely point of focus here you can bring your attention to is the space between your eyebrows as you really ground the forehead down towards the mat. A gentle pressure from the mat beneath the skin of your forehead, and then begin to breathe in and out through the nose. We can invite in our equal breath from yesterday's video. If you weren't here for that or haven't done it yet, our equal breath involves breathing in for the count of 3 and breathing out for the count of 3. In and out through the nose. Make this your own, follow through with your own counts. Each of us might have a bit of a different count here. Maybe those 3 counts are quick, or maybe they're very, very slow. When you have your breath, just come back to that sensation of grounding down here, and maybe you invite in some movement now, gently swaying the forehead from one side to the other on your mat, giving it a little bit of a massage, maybe feeling the temples on the right side and the left. Last breath in and out before we move. And then on your next inhale, look forward. Let's come forward into tabletop position, so lifting the hips, finding puppy pose. Knees are beneath the hips. Take the hands and just walk them towards the top of your mat. Your hips stay stacked over the knees. And now begin to let your chest melt down towards the floor and your forehead touches down again. Really plant through your palms here. A little bit of activation through the fingertips. And just take 2 more breaths, opening through the shoulders, feeling the floor beneath you. And then as you inhale, look forward like a snake. Begin to round yourself forward. Let your hips touch down, belly touches down, and finally the rib cage touches down. We're going to bring our hands beside the rib cage now. Draw our shoulders back. Bring our elbows nice and close to the body. Looking down at the top of your mat. Press through the tops of your feet. As you inhale, press into your hands. Gently lift your chest. Maybe the upper part of your rib cage comes off the mat. Exhale, lower down. Using the support of your hands here, really feel and grip the mat under your fingers. Inhale, lift chest into cobra pose. Exhale, release down. One more like that. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Inhale, press into the hands, push the ground away as you shift the hips up and back now. Tucking toes under, we're going to find downward facing dog. Spread the fingers nice and wide, take up a little bit more real estate on your mat. Hips are going high towards the sky. Feet are hips distance apart. We're looking back towards our belly button and we have a soft bend through the knees here. So this pose isn't about stretching the hamstrings. It's about opening through the shoulders and lengthening through the spine. So you can bend your knees as much as you need to find a little bit more length here. Again, feel your mat beneath your fingertips. Can you press down through the index finger and the thumb of your hand? This will help take some of the weight out of the wrists. Your shoulders are down in their sockets, the chest is melting back towards your upper thighs, and you're breathing here, in and out, through the nose. Feel a little bit of fire come into your body from holding this position. It is not an easy position to hold. With practice, it does become easier, but then sometimes it just depends on the day that's in it. And last breath in. And out. Inhale, look forward. We're going to lift our heels nice and high. Tippy toe your feet all the way towards the front of your mat. Take this slow. Feel the balls of the feet connect with the floor as you walk up. We're going to find our feet underneath the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands slide up the shins. Tailbone is back. Crown of the head is forward. Exhale, release, forward fold. From here, grab onto opposite elbow, let your head be heavy, chin towards the chest. You can stay in stillness, or you can sway the whole upper body from one side to the other. Feel your feet on the floor here, maybe shifting a little bit of the weight into the outer edges, bending through the knees, maybe even so much so that your belly meets your thighs. Now release the hands. Imagine that they're like floppy noodles here, not doing very much. Your head is heavy like a bowling ball. It's the last thing to come up. Can you ground through your feet even more? Soft bend in the knees. Drive through your heels as you begin to roll your body up one vertebrae at a time. The shoulders, neck, and head are the last thing to come up. Take your time. Sweep your hands out and up. Look up. Palms meet overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release the hands alongside the hips. Inhale, sweep out and up. Press through the feet. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more like that. Inhale, sweep out and up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Lovely. Relax the hands alongside the body. We find Tadasana, 3 breaths. So this is our mounting pose. Spread your feet nice and wide, or spread your toes rather nice and wide. You might even lift all of them up and then replace one at a time back down. Shift the weight into the outer edges of your feet. Look down and see your kneecaps stacked above your ankle bones. Lengthen your tailbone down towards your ankles or your heels, and then draw your hips up towards your ribcage. Can you breathe into the upper chest, arms alongside the body, palms are facing forward, and there's energy through the fingertips. Head stacked on the shoulders, shoulders stacked above the hips. Breathe. Maybe close down your eyes. Feel how your body is resting in space. Are you swaying from one side to the other? If so, that's okay, but we can play with that a little bit. Can you ground down even more? Lift your kneecaps. Imagine that there is roots growing from beneath your feet, down through your mat, into the ground beneath you. And you're standing tall and strong like a mountain, so if somebody was to come and tap you on the shoulder or try to push you over, you would not move. Last 2 breaths. hands coming onto the hips. Let's take that right foot and step it all the way towards the back of the mat as you come to face the side of your mat. Heels are facing in, toes are facing out. Gaze is forward, nice tall spine. On your exhale, sink the bum down into your goddess pose. Knees are tracking out towards the pinky side edge of the foot. And we're opening up and breathing into the hips here. Glutes are active, press through the feet. Maybe the hands stay on the hips, or maybe they come to the chest in front, palms together. Energize through the fingertips here as you really press the heels of the hands and the fingers towards one another. Lovely. As you inhale, begin to press through the feet, lengthen the legs, standing a little bit taller. Exhale, sink back down, goddess squat. 3 more. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale to sink. Feel your glutes here. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, sinking down. Last one. Inhale up. And exhale down. Hands are going to come onto the thighs or closer towards the knees. Take an inhale to prepare. As you exhale, let that right shoulder fall down as you gaze towards the left. So the right shoulder drops down in towards the center. Lovely. Inhale, come via the center. Exhale, left shoulder draws down in front as you gaze over the right shoulder. 1 more each side. Inhale through the center. Exhale, right shoulder dips. Inhale, center. Exhale, left shoulder dips. Inhale through the center. Begin to stand nice and tall. Hands slide up the thighs, back onto the hips. Turn the toes to face in, heels to face out. We have our wide-legged forward fold. Inhale to prepare. Open up through the chest, shoulders back. Exhale, lift your kneecaps, hinge from your hips, forward fold. You can let the hands come down towards the floor. Maybe the hands are planted in between the feet. Maybe you grab onto the opposite ankle. Or maybe you turn the fingertips to face away from you and you walk your hands through the gap in your legs, very gently gripping through the mat with your fingertips. Again, find that grounding sensation. Chin to chest. As you shift the weight into the balls of the feet, be careful. Hips are high, and kind of using this connection to gently deepen the stretch here. When you're ready, turn the hands to face backwards, so they're in the direction of your feet once again. Walk them forward. Left hand grounds down beneath the face. Keep your hips relatively square here. As you inhale, open up that right arm, reach it towards the ceiling, look towards the right. So there's a tendency here for that left hip to drop in, but draw it back where it was, keeping those hips square. Pelvis is steady and stable. Lovely. Let's float that right hand down, bring it underneath the face, take that left hand all the way up now. Open up through the chest, gentle twist here. As you exhale, let that left hand float down, and then we're going to begin to travel towards the top of our mat again. So walking the hands there, pivot on the feet, and then step back, downward facing dog. Find yourself here in your down dog. Find some stillness, that grounding sensation. Spread through the fingers, press down through the index finger and the thumb. And maybe this feels a little bit different for you this time, now that we're a little bit more open through the body. Gazing back towards your navel or between your upper thighs. Soft bend in the knees, sinking chest back towards the upper thighs. There's lots going on here. Let's just take 3 more breaths. And then when you're ready, look forward. Let's tippy toe our feet, ball of the foot, one at a time, all the way towards the top of the mat. Lovely. Bend into your knees, sink your bum nice and low. Begin to lift your heels slowly. We're very gently passing through a toe stand, so maybe the chest begins to lift, find a longer spine, and then roll back onto the bum, hands come forward, and then come all the way down onto your back. Finishing off with a bridge pose here. So feet are hips distance apart, knees are bent, arms alongside the body, shoulders roll back into their sockets. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, drive through your feet, especially your heels, as you lift the hips up, bringing the spine one vertebrae at a time off of the floor, and settling into your bridge pose here. So breathing nice and naturally, can you imagine that the knees are lengthening away from you? And then find this energy beneath you, as if you're dragging your heels towards your shoulders and your shoulders towards your heels. You feel like you're trying to wrinkle your mat underneath you. And this should fire up through the back of the body, and you should really feel your feet connected to the floor here. Gripping through the toes, but especially feeling the heels on your mat. Last breath in. And as you exhale, one vertebrae at a time rolls back down onto the mat. And then bring the soles of your feet together, knees open wide, butterfly pose. Arms can rest alongside the body, or they can rest on top of your belly. This will be our final pose. At any moment, if you want to take it into Shavasana by lengthening the legs nice and long, you can. But let's come back to our equal breath. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Let this be your point of focus as you melt into the floor beneath you. Feel the body heavy. Feel your breath light. When you're ready, begin to bring your hands to your outer thighs. Support them as you draw the knees back towards one another. And then slowly, whatever way feels good, begin to rock yourself up into your meditative seat. Of course, if you want to stay in Shavasana, you can. I should have said that before I instructed you to come up. You can lie back down if it's the evening time and you want to rest. And from here, if you're in your seat with me, just placing your hands atop your knees, keeping the eyes closed. Find your breath to anchor you for the next 30 seconds here. And bring the palms together at the heart to touch. Thank yourself for showing up on your mat. Bowing the head, namaste.